pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the Village Board meeting of April 24th, 2023. Roll call.
Capros.
Here.
Session.
Here.
Giannotti.
Here.
Terry.
Here.
Stacy.
Here.
I forgot his glasses.
I forgot my glasses, I couldn't hear what you said.
Here.
All right, in your packet, you have minutes for the last meeting. Does anyone have any changes or additions? If not, can we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Roll call.
Capros.
Yes.
Possession.
Yes.
Giannotti.
Yes.
Terry.
Yes.
Stacy.
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Okay, there's no village clerk report tonight. Does anyone in the audience wish to address the board? Well, all right, let's do Kevin first. We had two.
So Kevin Bouchard, I'm here in my capacity as chairperson for the food stand for the 4th of July Commission. And I'd just like to thank the entire board for approval of that 100% grant we got from the state to put the HVAC system in the fireman's grill. Particularly trustee Giannotti for finding this grant and for all the hard work and legwork he did in making this project come to fruition. Thanks, guys.
Welcome. You don't have to fry in there this summer. Okay, Craig?
My name is Craig May. I live in Beecher, been a long-time resident. I'm asking the board to consider deduct meters for people that would like to keep their yard nice. It's been instilled in me since I was a kid. Be proud of what you have. And a lot of towns, Homewood, Flossmoor, Frankfurt, Mokina, and Lennox, all have that option. I'm not asking for the board to pay for it. If a resident would like one, they could purchase the meter and then have the village come in and inspect it, wire it. That way we're not getting charged a sewer fee for the water that goes on our lawn or flowers. I love Beecher. I think it looks nice when a lot of people take care of their homes, and it might be a little bit of incentive and a little bit of a money break on our water bill to help keep the town looking nice. Because, you know, looks good, more people want to come. It looks terrible, we all know those cons. So, a few residents are here. One. The other two are late. But I don't know how to go about doing this, if I need to like get a petition of people that would like to purchase an extra meter. Matt does a phenomenal job. I know it's hard with a small town. I work for the water department in Homewood, so I know the struggle. A little different, we've got 7,200 water accounts. I think you guys go through about 6,500, 650,000 a month. We go through about 5.5 million. A little different, I get it, the budget's different, but you know, if I gotta spend $300-400 to keep my yard looking nice, it's gonna hurt, you know. And I appreciate the compliments I get on the street when people are walking by. My God, your lawn looks beautiful. That's why I do it. So, leave it up to you guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's something we can send to committee. Yep. We can send it to Public Works Committee and kind of talk about a way, if they want to, and then if a way
Sure.
we can implement that, we get to bring it back for a vote. All right, anyone else wish to address the board? All right, under my report, consider an agreement with Safe Built to perform fire inspection services at the rate of $125 an hour. The contract is enclosed. Everything else we're doing is gonna stay the same. They're gonna continue to do the fire plan reviews for new construction, but this fee would be for the fire inspections themselves. So, does someone wanna make a motion to, approve the agreement with Safe Built for fire inspections?
So moved.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
there's a motion and a second, discussion,
Fire department been notified, right?
pardon?
About the, IGA, is that
They've
finished,
got,
settled, no, worried, all, whatever, needs to be undone?
yeah, it's May 12th is, the end date with the 30 days notice, and they were delivered a letter, correct? Yep, they were hand delivered.
How many hours does this equal with our, will we budget 10? We set aside 10 for this?
Yeah.
How many, actually, I guess I can do math, anybody know offhand how many hours it is?
More than enough, I didn't figure it out.
Okay. And that's what I'm getting at,
Yeah,
this is more than enough to do.
This was 100 and a quarter an hour, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I know we had a discussion before about
80?
About 3 an hour.
80 hours. Oh, that's, yeah, I mean,
About what?
about how realistic maybe the time was before that it was taking, and now it should take a lot less time, but I just wanna make sure that we cover.
I says they were running 5 to 15 minutes each, 5 minutes to get back and forth between the businesses. Some businesses are gonna take longer, the bigger ones going through Dutch American Foods or something is gonna take longer.
We should have enough in there.
Okay, and when will this start?
Mid-May.
Yep, mid-May.
The
This-
chamber's
this-
already asked for a presentation.
Okay. I assume we have lists and all that stuff of what needs to be done, or, I mean, are we starting from
Well, as soon as
scratch
we
here no matter what?
Well, as
Like
soon
if
as
someone
we
just
get
got
the-
inspected last month,
Mhm.
are we doing it again no matter what? Are we gonna go on a cycle?
No, we'll do it on an annual
Okay.
cycle, yeah. And actually, even if we, I don't know if we're gonna get a list from the fire department, even if we don't, Bob has everything.
I have all the inspections they've done.
So as soon as
Okay,
they
so we
inspect,
have everything.
yeah, as soon as they
Okay.
inspect, they shoot a report to Bob, so we can start downloading those from, the prior year and just see what cycle we're on for, you know,
What's
May,
going on?
June, July, yep, what's
Right.
coming up.
First thing I want to do is meet with the new inspector. And we want to make appointments for the inspector. We're trying to average 3 an hour. We want to send, first we're going to make an appointment with the businesses about 30 days in advance, and then send them a checklist with a cover letter saying, look, this is what he's looking for. You know, if you want to check these out before he gets there, makes the inspection smoother. And we're going to sit down with the inspector and tell him this is a business-friendly inspection, and let them fix any corrections they can do on the fly while you're here, so we don't have to come back.
And basically let them know this is the minimum you should be doing to remain safe. You know, this is what you should be doing all the time for compliance.
And I think we're such a small town and area too, where even if a, a business needed an hour to run to get a battery for a exit light that's out or something like that, I mean, you're in the area, you're here, give them some time, because at the end of the day, I think we're all in agreement, everybody's looking for compliance, right? We're looking for the safety and we're looking for compliance. Nobody's looking to, fail somebody and then say, okay, I'll be back in a month, and them to take a whole month to fix it, right? Because then they're still in violation for that month. I mean, the idea is absolutely whatever we can to get it fixed that day and there and ahead of time is what that's the end game, right? That's the goal.
Anything else? Roll call?
Kraus,
Yes.
Stacy.
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Giannotti,
Yes.
Possession.
Yes.
Caprows.
Yes.
We had a meeting with Doug Pryor, the director of the Will County CED, and it's an annual meeting, we kind of touch base with what's new, what's going on. Not too much happening out here, we were kind of aware of this before, but he said that the Ileana is pretty much dead, particularly from a standpoint of Indiana. Indiana has eradicated any mention of the Ileana Expressway through their legislature. They want the thing gone off the books. So the Ileana doesn't appear to be happening. Not too much going on with airport property. There's still the potential of them developing it for other uses, but it's pretty much, not much going on there. It's pretty much dead at the moment, as far as an airport goes anyway. He went over a lot of our available properties. He actually has a really good grasp of properties that we have available and where they are and what our existing inventory is. He's actually very good about that. So he kind of went over what we have, let us know if there's any help we need. He's here to be able to intervene, things like ComEd with the business park, anything he can do to intervene, he's happy to help, so. Anything else you wanna add? Did I miss anything?
That's about right, it's our annual visit.
Yep. All right, Lobby Day update from Springfield.
Oh, that was fun. A lot of South Suburban mayors went down, a lot of mayors were there from all over the state on Lobby Day, but South Suburban managers, mayors and managers had their own group. And we were able to get a closed-door meeting with the governor, which is very unusual. maybe every 3 or 4 years we get that opportunity. And of course, we had one topic this year, and that was LGDF, that's the only thing we focused on, we didn't bring up anything else, we pounded away on the LGDF. And just to give you a little idea of how some of these towns are hurting, and sometimes it's because of the history of the community that caused these things to occur, but Mayor Harvey, if you get a chance to watch the video of the hearing they had on LGDF, it's a very interesting video where these mayors testified. Harvey has 100% of their property tax allocated to pensions. They are under state rule that 100% of the property tax they collect has to go into the pension funds. 48% of the property taxes they levy are uncollectible. So the state claws back 50% of the income tax and 50% of their sales tax just to meet the pension obligations of the city of Harvey. So this poor new mayor elected in the city of Harvey only has half of his revenue to operate. So he's over there pleading with the governor, just bleeding all over the table about this problem that he has inherited. And he's trying to run a city and he's got no revenue. I was shocked by that. I mean, I can't imagine only collecting 40% of your levy. If you have general obligation bonds outstanding, pension obligations, that's a serious problem. And he was just one of many communities that were there. Of course, Dixmoor, we know their situation with the water systems. But it was a very interesting, it was a much different lobby day when we focused on one issue as opposed to hitting them with 30 different things that they don't understand. My guess is we're not gonna get what we asked for, but we might get half a point. Half a point's 100 Gs.
Absolutely.
So if you go down there and pound away and you get 100 Gs a year, it's better than nothing. But I think they're gonna have to do something. Because when you're sending every dollar to Springfield and only 6 cents is coming back to the local government, that's a problem. And for every dollar you pay in income tax to the state, only 6 pennies are coming back to the municipalities. So I'll leave it at that. That was lobby day. You get a chance to watch the hearing that we sent you. It's fun to watch.
All right. And then we have a proclamation. It is Professional Municipal Clerks Week. Hopefully it's in here. Nope, that's the other one. It's like, what happened to my proclamation? I wasn't involved.
It's in there. Something a little
Good job, Bob.
back to the here.
Here, I'll use yours. To anyone watching, you usually actually have this. All right, whereas the office of professional municipal clerk, a time-honored and vital part of local government, exists throughout the world, and whereas the office of the professional municipal clerk is the oldest among public servants, whereas the office of the professional municipal clerk provides the professional link between citizens, local governing bodies, and agencies of government at other levels, and whereas professional municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all, whereas the professional municipal clerk serves as the information center on functions of local government and community, whereas professional municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the office of the professional municipal clerk through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their state, provincial, county, and international professional organizations, whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of the office of the professional municipal clerk. Now therefore, I, Marcy Meyer, Village President of the Village of Beecher, Will County, Illinois, do recognize the week of April 30th through May 6th, 2023 as Professional Municipal Clerks Week, and further extend appreciation to our professional municipal clerk, Jeanette McCauley, and to all professional municipal clerks for the vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent. You're welcome. All right, Finance and Administration Committee, Trustee Caboras.
Consider a motion approving the bills to be paid since the last meeting. It should be noted that this is the last bill cycle before the close of the fiscal year. After that, after these are paid, we'll be closing the books. So there was two, since they were emailed to you, they should be highlighted in your list. There was two bills that were added This won't be a regular thing, it's just because it was the close of the year. So we have the Sunray heating invoice with that one, completed.
27.5, if I remember.
Yep. And then Suburban Laboratories, that was just an additional invoice that was an error. So other than that, they're all the same, so,
I'll just explain the Sunray bill, we're getting that money back in a grant, plus 4th of July is paying the difference. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that out of ARPA money for now, and then reimburse the ARPA account, because this revenue and expense will come in 2 different fiscal years. And it'll mess up the books, it's easier than coming out of ARPA, so that's how we're gonna handle it.
okay. So, that being said, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the bills in the total amount of $284,146.27.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second?
There's a motion and a second, discussion, roll call?
Caprows?
Yes.
Possession?
Yes.
Genati?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Stacy?
Yes.
Kraus?
Yes.
Public hearing proposed for the proposed budget for fiscal year 23-24. Motion is needed to open and close the public hearing. Bob, you have hopefully
You gotta get sick of hearing me tonight.
hopefully a very short comments. The public
There
can
is a
ask questions.
process. to
So,
get- Go
hold
ahead.
on, I need to, open it,
Oh,
right?
that's right.
So I'll go ahead and make a motion to open the public hearing for the proposed budget for fiscal year 23-24.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, roll call?
Kraus?
Yes.
Stacy?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Genati?
Yes.
Possession?
Yes.
Caprows?
Yes.
Copies of the budget are provided on the table, if anyone wants a copy. This is a process, and tonight is the end of the process, and believe it or not, the process begins in 90 days again. The first step in this process is the 5-year financial plan, which was completed in January 23, after we had a village board workshop, and that plan takes us out 5 years. The department heads then submit their requests in January, and the administrator makes final revenue projections. The first draft of the budget comes out in early February and shared with all the committees. The Public Safety and Public Works Committee did meet to review the first draft of their respective budgets with their department heads. The second draft of the budget is then given to the Finance Committee in mid-February. The Finance Committee did hold a 5-hour workshop on Saturday, February 25th to review the entire budget, make changes, and recommend a third draft to the entire village board. The village board held its annual budget workshop on Monday, March 27th out at the Public Works Garage. Final amendments were then made. The budget then goes to a 4th draft for public hearing tonight, which is where we are. The budget can still be amended, tabled, or approved as a result of tonight's hearing. The budget and the budget message has been on the village's website since April 19th, and due notice has been published of the hearing. The village did increase the police protection property tax levy by 4.95%, or $31,759. And this was used to help pay for the increased personnel costs of the 9 full-time officers, 4 part-time officers, and 1 civilian employee. The new general obligation bond issue is also in the budget. An additional $245,000 will be needed each year to pay off those new bonds, resulting in a tax increase of $140 per year in a single-family home valued at $235,000. No other new sources of revenue for the general fund are budgeted, except several general revenue line items did grow as a result of sales and use tax, income tax, and cable franchise fees. Some revenues have plateaued and have become flat, and these include video gaming tax, cannabis tax, and telecommunications tax. This means that total sales in those areas have plateaued. The pay for full-time employees are governed by 3 collective bargaining agreements, whereas department heads receive pay increases ranging from 2 to 3%. The health insurance program for all employees except Public Works Union employees went up by 6.7%. IRA pension obligations dropped from 4.57% last year to 3.36% of payroll this year. The village is currently 98% funded, and investments are performing to current market standards. We remain out of the downstate police pension system until at least 2030. Some of the new things in the budget include a new public works employee, so we can replace Ron Emery, who's been transferred to the wastewater treatment plant as an apprentice to the wastewater operations manager, so we can continue with the class 1 operation of that plant. We have budgeted $70,000 for a comprehensive rewrite to the zoning ordinance, and to bring it up to today's current terminology, and then codify the code on the website as an interactive live document. We will be paying our 20% local match on Penfield Street project this year. That's gonna require payment of $1.2 million, with $650,000 coming from a 10-year loan from a local bank, and the remainder from our motor fuel tax reserves, which we've been pocketing for years. We've been seeking to pave the 600 block of Gould Street as well this year for $150,000, and have placed another $150,000 in the budget to pave additional streets per the Public Works Committee's direction. The village remains committed to replacing water mains, with the next project being the Dixie Highway crossover replacements at an estimated cost of $950,000, with $300,000 coming from the Will County, with $500,000 coming from the Will County ARPA loan, and the remainder from monies in that account. That will put Miller Street project somewhere in 24 or 25. We discussed a lot this year with the budget. It's going to cost you a little more to live in the village this year than it did last year. There's a combined water and sewer rate increase of 50 cents per 1,000 gallons, which went into effect on March 1st. This rate increase will pay for the increasing cost of pumping water, chemicals, and overall maintenance of water and sewer system. We are estimating the village portion of your tax bill will be going up by about $140 this year through the GO bonds for the police station. Overall, the tax rate may decline as other taxing bodies' bond issues are coming off the rolls this year. There will be a 75-cent per month increase, or $1.50 per billing for refuse collection. A typical single-family home valued at $235,000, using 14,000 gallons of water, which is the average, will pay an average of $191.21 more to the village of Beecher this year than it did last year. A minimum residential water user will see an overall increase of $153.21. This year's budget is balanced, and no reserves are required to pay any of our operating costs. This is the proposed budget for fiscal year 23-24.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Public? Any public comment? If not, I'll go ahead and make a motion to close the public hearing for the proposed budget for fiscal year 23-24.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
There is a second.
There's a motion and a second, discussion, roll call.
Caprows,
Yes.
Possession,
Yes.
Genati,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Stacy,
Yes.
Kraus,
Yes.
Consider a resolution adopting a budget for fiscal year 23-24. Mayor, you have a?
2023-07.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve resolution 2023-07, adopting a budget for fiscal year 23-24.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, discussion, roll call.
Kraus,
Yes.
Stacy.
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Genati,
Yes.
Possession,
Yes.
Caprows.
Yes. Consider an ordinance of appropriation, the same amount of the authorization as contained in the budget for fiscal year 23-24. Any spending which exceeds the new budget will require a supplemental appropriation, so there's very little opportunity to spend outside the previously approved limits. Ordinance is enclosed. Do we have a number?
1388.
I'll go ahead and make a motion approving ordinance, to approve ordinance 1388.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Yes. Second.
There's a motion and a second, discussion, roll call.
Caprows,
Yes.
Possession.
Yes.
Genati,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Stacy,
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Last item, Illinois Municipal Retirement Fund drops Beecher's rate to 3.31 for 2024. The 2023 rate is 3.66, so this is really good news. Back in the 1990s, the village paid as much as 13% of gross wages for pensions. Please see the enclosed rate sheet, just for information. And that concludes my report.
Public Buildings and Properties, Parks and Recreation Committee, trustee Gianna.
Thank you. Update on the food stand, HVAC, so as was stated earlier, we paid that bill today. System's up and running. Unfortunately with the weather, it's only been running heat, but the air conditioning was tested during that heat spell we had, and it's all, everything's working good, so looking forward to that this year. Fireman's Park project updates. Lighting for Fireman's Park was completed last Friday. Lights will turn on at dusk and shut off at 10 p.m. Public Works will be completing restorations to the trenches and around the light poles in the coming weeks. Materials for Fireman's Park playground expansion will be delivered next week. Public Works will be completing the installation of the swings and other amenities, as well as putting up the remaining border and mulch prior to the 4th of July festival. Davis Concrete will be here starting tomorrow to prep for the concrete pads for the benches and picnic tables around the park and around the splash pad. And plan is to pour the pads on Wednesday. There will be equipment operating around the park, so the path will be out of service during the morning and afternoon hours. Public Works will install the benches and tables once concrete is cured. Those are already assembled and waiting in the food building. And then Project Pickle update. We received the updated pricing for the fencing changes that we previously discussed out of the Public Works garage, and we'll be saving an additional $7,000 on that initial price that we got for that portion of the project. We also will be ordering the cameras that will tie into the school system some point this week, so that we can have 24-hour surveillance on the multi-sport courts. And other than that, unless Matt's got something to add.
Nope, I think you covered it.
All right, that concludes my report.
Planning, Building, and Zoning Committee, Trustee Stacy.
Thank you, Mayor. The regular meeting for Planning and Zoning Commission has been canceled due to lack of agenda. The next regular scheduled meeting will be for May 25th at 7 p.m. That's all I have.
Okay. Public Safety Committee, Trustee Terry.
Thank you, Mayor. The Missing and Exploiting Children program, just wanted to cover and let you know that Beecher is actually the third city in the state of Illinois that would require us or enable us to work on missing and exploiting children. Chief, if you have anything you want to add on the program?
All the officers did a completed curriculum, so they completed it. We are the third department in the state to fulfill the requirement.
Well done.
And then also too, as far as with the Beecher Rec, they're gonna have their parade. So we'll have EMA and the golf cart and the police department will be at the, it's on Saturday. It's opening day for the boys baseball and girls softball. The lineup is at Zion, it starts at 9:30.
The weather looks crappy, unfortunately. They never look out on me.
And that concludes my report.
All righty. Public Works Committee, Trustee Kraus.
Thank you. Penfield update?
We're still waiting for comment to move the wires overhead. AT&T has moved the fiber optic cable. The project is all hinging on when Connie gets that pulled over. That's all I know on that.
Gold Street water main punch list update?
Yeah, the engineer was out either today or yesterday, it must have been today, took pictures. There's a couple of questionable restoration areas, they weren't sure. I don't know, did you see that email, Matt?
I did, yeah.
Okay, will you respond to that then?
Yeah, I started a response. I have a draft going now. I gotta have Steve check that B-box out though to verify before I
But they put
send
that
it.
hydrant in, didn't they?
They did, yeah. The issue that they had with that hydrant was the original hydrant, the valve seat was leaking on it, so we gave them one of our hydrants to keep the project moving. That's why it looks different, but they did install that.
Okay.
So.
So we still have about 32,000 worth of work finished on that job.
And then manholes on Dixie are becoming a problem again. Bill just taken photos and made IDOT aware of this problem once again. There are 3 manhole locations rapidly failing and 1 repaired area that is also failing. Is that one that they just did, like a month or 2 ago?
In front of the funeral home, yeah.
Okay. all I have.
All right. Economic Development Community Relations Committee, trustee session.
Thank you very much. TIF redevelopment agreement for Union Electronics to be 75% of the total property tax paid capped at 12 years or the full purchase price of the lot, whichever occurs first. This is the formula established by the committee in 2021, and this is what we'll be asking the board to approve at the next meeting. Moving forward, we will offer all of the lot purchasers in the park the same package to level the playing field unless real extenuating circumstances arise.
The mayor would prefer to also have a resolution passed that was your committee's intent at that time. was
We don't
do
have to
that.
think about it
Every
6
single
months
time.
from now,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
date, yeah.
I'll kind of chime in on this one just a little bit. So the thought on that is that, I don't think it'll actually take 12 years to get to the, purchase price of the lot. That's kind of a thing that the developer was, felt comfortable with, was with that number. They were obviously looking for something at like 100% of it, and, we stood strong on that we were not gonna do 100%, that we needed to continue to, add into this TIF fund, so we do have the ability to start doing some things with it. But the one thing that I do wanna, and I think it's a great idea to put in a resolution and this and that, but I do remember, and we need to go back, I can kinda go through my notes and double check it. There was the agreement that, and I don't know how this would play, I think that's something that we do need to discuss with them again. Because the plan was, that was gonna be it moving forward, because they were gonna do like the whole first phase, right? But I do remember us saying that it was 12 years, once they got the first one, that after 2 years, it was gonna drop to 10, so that way the end dates were at the same. So, how we're gonna do that now with them doing a smaller phase, if we wanna do that, I just think that's something that, you probably need to discuss again, because that was the plan, was that the incentive was there as a 12-year thing, and it was out the gate, and once because it was, the idea is that there was gonna be a whole big phase of this, with them doing just, whatever it is, the 6 or 8 lots or whatever it is that they're doing, and not doing the rest. I don't know how that goes, because that was the plan, was it was 12 years, and then it was be available for 12 years for the first 2, that phase was open, and then it was gonna reduce down to 10 years. Even at 10 years, I really don't think it's gonna make a difference, because I still think that the lots are gonna be paid, and, well before then, so, even at the 10-year rate, so I don't think it really matters. I think as long as it's, it's stated as either comes first, they're gonna be paid in whole for the cost of the lot.
And they're on a clock too, because the overall cap's 17 years.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
TIF
yeah,
is
yeah.
approaching 5 years of age. And it's a 23-year TIF, so
Yeah.
we're 17.
That's all.
Well, thank you, and that's all I have. Concludes my report.
Okay, any old business to come before the board?
I have one item, we released the fleet report. I don't know what committee that would fall under, because it's all committees and departments have something in the fleet. But we wanted to give the village board an idea of what we own from wheelable equipment. No, that's fine. It's your report, and we hope to update it every year. So any trustee sitting on the board has a book they can go to and say, hey, wait a minute, do we own that squad car? How many squad cars do we have? And to tell you the truth, I even lose track of how many we have. So this book is a help, so you know exactly what we own. Anything that has wheels is in that report for you to look at. That's all.
So I was gonna bring it up, but you had a comment about this. Why are EMA vehicles not striped like they used to be? Like, one is completely unmarked. The one that's got like this little insignia on the door, actually I think 2 of them do. No one has any idea who they are or what they do. I think the one car has Beecher and EMA on the back. But they used to say EMA real big on them. I think Village of Beecher too. But why are they not striped like that still or again? Is there a reason? Well, we have an unmarked or
We changed
partially
the logo.
unmarked?
We changed the logo.
Okay, but I mean, nobody can read that. I mean, no one knows what they are. Did the color run, fun run, whatever it was a few weeks ago. And, the director was out there, I think Murray was out there with the one flag, I think it's the Ford. And you could see Beecher when you go by, but no one knows what that is, no one knows if it's a squad car, if it's EMA, if
So
it
it's
works,
just
if
the
it's.
one, the.
So I think two of them have just that little door sticker on there. And if you walk by it, you could see that says Beecher, but you can't tell anything else. And then the director's car, he's got a couple little stars on it, but it's completely unmarked. I mean, these are cars that are going to other towns. I mean, you guys volunteer your time. I think you guys should get credit for doing stuff. I think the village should get credit if they're sending vehicles out to other towns.
Isn't it EMA director's card?
Yeah, it says EMA on
Yeah.
the doors.
No, it doesn't.
No, all I have is a star
The star
on
that's on
both
the side.
fenders.
It used to have.
And then on the back it says EMA and then the card number on the back. That one was left that way. I originally consulted with the chief, because I'm going to all these different meetings and in different towns. And, me and the chief had this conversation and we were fine leaving mine that way, but if there's a consensus that you want that to change, it's whatever you want, they're your vehicles, so you just let us know what you want. We changed we changed the logo because it was a lot cheaper to not have all that straight 3-layer striping, and we went with this simple decal that you see on 2 of them, because we can purchase them cheap and put them on ourselves. That way we're not spending $800 a car to stripe them.
I mean, I guess if no one else has an issue with it, I mean, that's just my opinion. I mean, you're basically have 3 unmarked EMA cars running around town, going to wherever you're going. I understand you wanna drive it to another town, but, I mean, it's still, we have marked police cars that leave town, so what's, I mean, is it a safety thing that you can't say EMA on it? I mean,
No.
I see other towns that are near us, fully marked, fully striped, they go other places too. I mean, I just think
As far as
300
my vehicle, almost every EMA director, their vehicles are not marked. But if that's what you want, then I will mark it. That's just, I just, you know, the other one we just got from the police, it was unmarked. We threw those stars on there, so my car and the deputy directors are kind of unmarked, the other ones are marked. So you, if there's an issue with it, we can change that.
Sometimes it really doesn't matter, I mean, because having the way they are, in my opinion, some of these people that are driving, then they don't know if they're police or not. So they'll take things a little bit more cautious.
Or,
long as
or,
they have
or run up
lights.
to a car that they don't know if there's an emergency, run up to a car. I mean, yes, if someone runs up to them, they just call the police, but I mean. And also 50 other people in this town that have cars that look like police cars that are running around that, you know.
Got any opinion, or you wanna go to committee, talk about it?
I think if you wanna put it to a committee, we could put it to a committee. I mean, the markings on there are minimal.
I have an option. You know, we have not decals, but they're magnetic, we can stick them on the doors. And, you know, they're big and it'll say exactly what they have. We have a set, don't we?
We did, but after time, the magnets start breaking down and the edges, and when I'm driving down, they were peeling off, because I had big magnets that said Beecher AMA on it, but after time, the magnets went, so I ended up taking them and throwing them out because they weren't capable anymore, but,
How
I
much
mean,
were they?
I was gonna
they
say, what
weren't
does
a
that
lot.
cost?
They weren't a lot.
You could buy new
I
magnetic.
could buy one, I could buy them every year for what they cost. I think they're like $45 or $50 a magnet per side.
I mean, can you guys come up with a design you like that isn't expensive to put on a car? I mean, you keep these cars for
Well,
years, right?
you seen the 2 that are marked, right? The decal we have on them? Is that, I mean, that kind of matches our new emblems that are on our shirts. And that covers one whole door.
I mean, if you're asking me, no, because my thing is, like, no one knows what that is. I mean,
No, on my car, I understand, but the other 2 that are marked with,
but all anyone can, I mean,
The
I walk the neighborhoods, and
Yes,
I know,
and
I
the
know
one-
what the cars are, I know
Right.
why they're there.
and I
And
understand
I can
that.
only still read Beecher walking by this part of the driveway. So, I mean, if, again, This is one trustee's opinion, if the board doesn't want anything, that's fine. But I think they should be marked in some kind of style as they used to be, so
What-
people know exactly
What
what
you
they
got
are.
on there right now, Bob, is the badge, right? Your guys'
Yes,
your guys'
yes.
new badge? So
Yes.
it's just a blown up version of the badge?
Correct. On mine and the deputy director.
Yeah,
The other two, we
That's-
have the
that's the
stars,
patch, right?
and they're marked on the back, Beecher EMA on the back, the car number. On the side, we got the one
Yeah.
whole door emblem with the silver badge.
Yeah. The door, yeah, but the door emblem on like that HHR and on the Taurus.
Taurus, yes,
That's your guys' patch that's on your shirt.
correct, so we matched. And
So
it was
matches the
cheaper,
shirt.
it was cheaper for me to
Absolutely.
have those made and put them on ourselves than spending like the police do. They have, the old ones were the red, the white, and the gray. That was over $800 a car, which I didn't have in my budget, so we went this route so that we could put them on ourselves and save money.
Cause we were running through cars pretty quick for a while there too, right? For the
Yes.
EMA cars?
Yes.
So like spending $800 on a car you were gonna have for
Correct.
2 years wasn't worth it.
Correct.
The fleet's in pretty good shape now, so we could buy them magnetic ones and put them on the door.
I
Switch mount.
think what trustee Kraus is wanting is some kind of identity for that car. It's Beecher EMA, it should say Beecher EMA on it somewhere. Whether it's on the
Well,
trunk,
that's what
is that correct?
Yeah, there's I don't know if the HHR, but the Ford Taurus has a small one on the trunk.
Correct. The Ford Taurus and my Explorer is the two he's talking about. The other two are fully marked.
We'll put it to the committee, I'll have the committee, do an update on each car for each EMA with all four sides. Give the pictures to the board, and if there's
Take it
any
from there.
ideas we can
Figure
come
out
up
the
with, we'll
cost.
figure it
And
out.
you'll have the director there too at the meeting?
Yes, yes.
Okay, any more old business to come before the board? All right, new business? Well, I have something. We're going to consider a resolution of appreciation to village trustee Jonathan Kaporis for his 12 years of service to the village of Beecher. So, we have a certificate of appreciation and recognition, in appreciation of 12 years of dedicated and committed service. And this will be resolution number 2023-08. Whereas trustee Jonathan Kaporis was first elected in the spring of 2011 as village trustee, and whereas trustee Kaporis served 3 consecutive terms as village trustee, and whereas trustee Kaporis chaired public buildings and properties, public works and finance committees, and also held the office of village president pro tem, and whereas trustee Kaporis leaves office as the longest currently serving board member and senior trustee, and whereas trustee Kaporis has also served on the Beecher 4th of July Commission, Beecher Youth Commission, Beecher Historic Preservation Commission, Beecher TIF District No. 1 Joint Review Board, the TIF Incentive Committee, and the Intergovernmental Fuel Committee, and whereas trustee Kaporis was instrumental in the establishment or completion of the following projects: the Beecher wastewater treatment plant reconstruction in 2019, the refinancing of the 2009 general obligation bonds, the purchase of the hut at 533 Reed Street in 2019, new village hall at 625 Dixie in 2014, the Penfield Street reconstruction project started in 2013, the new police station on Church Road in 2023. And whereas trustee Kaporis' main objective in the last 2 terms in office was to push for the replacement of all the old ductile iron mains in the village, having created a special account and a special water rate for this purpose, and replacing mains on Penfield, Elliott, Oak Park, Dunbar, and Gould, and portions of Indiana, Birch, and Elm in just the last 8 years. Whereas as finance chairman, trustee Kaporis designed capital equipment sinking funds for both public works and police departments, guaranteeing that operating revenue would be set aside every year for the replacement of aging vehicles and equipment in the village's fleet. Now therefore be it resolved that the village president and board of trustees hereby recognize trustee Jonathan Kaporis for his many accomplishments and long tenure on the village board, and for his dedication and service to the residents of the Beecher community. And be it further resolved that the village president and board of trustees wishes trustee John Kaporis well into his retirement from public office and all his future endeavors.
Call a motion.
Okay, we need a motion to pass resolution number 2023-08.
Make that motion.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Discussion? Gross.
Can I go to TBD? Yes.
Stacy,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Genati,
Yes.
Possession,
Yes.
Gross.
Abstain.
Yeah, well, let's do a picture of the
Okay.
flag.
So,
See, Eric, you got big shoes to fill, man.
we got a certificate of appreciation to Jonathan Kaporis. You get it in writing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's crowded.
Smiling on his way in and
Yeah,
out.
right. Panoramic, I guess. Yeah.
Wide angle. That ain't for you. Thank you.
Alrighty. Any other new business to come before the board? Alright, we have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Gross,
Yes.
Possession,
Yes.
Genati,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Stacy.
Yes.
Gross.
Yes.